Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Undercut Realistic Series URS. We are here for round number 6 of season 4. It's the Italian Grand Prix. It's what they call the Temple of Speed, and it is time for some speed to get underway. I'm your commentator, Ryan Ocon31, and alongside me once again, as he missed last week, he's back this one. Morgan Cheeseman, welcome along.
Yo, it's been a while. How are we all?
It's not been
It
completely a while, but it's been a hot
feels
minute,
a long
right?
time.
It
Feels a
does. It
long
really
time.
does. Especially from going from Sunday to each Sunday, it does feel like a long time.
It
Because
really
I
does.
almost forget what happened last week, but we'll talk about that in a moment. But first, how are you?
I am not bad. It's been a crazy weekend, but other than that, it's nice to chill out and do a nice race at Italy. It's going to be a good one, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. This race every season, no matter what league I commentate, I almost feel like I'm ready for it more each time. It is an amazing track to go to. It's an amazing track to watch for racing. You name it. I love this place, and I'm ready to get underway.
Oh, definitely. I'm really looking forward to this race.
All right, so let's talk about everything that happened last week. So there was some issues with the sprint event, meaning that the sprint event for Abu Dhabi is now pushed away and will not be ran. However, in that sprint race last week, Will Cromack ended up winning. And a couple people actually ended up getting points in the sprint who didn't get points in the race or start the race, like Lando Norris in the McLaren, and Kam, who DNF'd from the race lead at one point in the Alpine. But speaking of Alpine, Alpine were able to salvage home a podium with Kam's crash out of the race. And not only Kam's crash out of the race, got him points from the sprint, with that being on hand with 7 points for him, second place. Riles' podium did. That's what I'm talking about. Riles ended up taking P2. Polo got ended up winning after a penalty to Chungus for an unsafe rejoin, and Chungus ended up finishing on the podium, meaning the championship is now a 2 point deficit at stake. Sam Steed, Blue Goggy, they both took top fives, and Alfa Romeo extend their gap over Ferrari, meaning that Alfa Romeo have kind of broken away, and they're not exactly within that top two fight in that constructors that Williams and Haas are, but they're emerging as the underdogs between Williams and Haas. Williams and Haas are obviously the clear favorites, but you want to talk about a team that might salvage their way in there or sneak their way in there? I think the team that you should be looking at is Alfa Romeo now with 22 points in the race itself, 1 point in the sprint for them. They're not exactly, you know, I guess, doing stellar things. They're not getting podiums, they're not winning races, but what they are doing is scoring points every single weekend and at least scoring a decent amount because they're the only team, except for Williams and Haas, who have done that to start off the season. And for Polo God and Chungus, their championship's sake as well. They're a mile ahead of the rest. They're almost 40. Yeah, I think they're at 40 points ahead of Jab in the championship. So those two have been the ones to break away from everybody else to start off.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I'm looking at the standings. Polo God, like you said, Polo God Anchung is giving a really good lead over everyone else. 40 points ahead of Jab is incredible from four other from the races that have been going on. Having a lead like that from the start is really good. It's really promising for both of them. We'll see what they can do.
Absolutely. Yeah, that 2 point gap in the drivers' championship is also big for the constructors because the constructors have got closer throughout time. With Haas picking up Pluto, and with Haas picking up Pluto, it means a 15 point gap separates them. So yeah, that's gonna be something we're gonna have to watch out for. Um, and something I also want to get onto quickly before we do get underway and get any sort of other invites that we need to figure out. Is in regards to last season at Monza. Last season, Sam said it in the main chat. He said underdogs would emerge in this race, and I can sort of agree to an extent because last season it was the two Red Bulls who we're trying to look for a 1-2 with TJR and Joe. Joe took his first podium. Joe took his first pole. Rice Cracker was up there. He just got kind of messed up by the safety car. Same could be said about Blue Goggy. Joseph spun and he was on fresh tires. Could have actually got a podium and then had to try to recover. So, um, yeah, a lot can happen in this race as shown by last season.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I'm just trying to have a look at this thing you sent me. Uh, seeing through all the dimensions and things. Yeah, it's interesting to see how people have changed from this season, from last season to where they are now. You know, it's always good to see the development of drivers, seeing what they can do, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are now, rather than last season. Yeah, it's always good to see, see them prevail and things like that. But yeah, it's brilliant. It just shows that a season can be exciting every single time. It's not the same sort of format. One person constantly wins and the other ones fall in behind. It seems to always be different.
Yeah, I mean, you take for example, if Surfy didn't get that puncture on the last lap, what could have been for Surfy? If he never got that puncture, he was ahead of Polo when that happened with that puncture. And
Yeah,
you take Chungus's penalties, Surfy would have been the race winner, but Polo got ended up winning two in a row, and he's now trying to go for three in a row here, which nobody in URS has ever done. So that is very big to look out for because you take TJR, who won two in a row after this race, I think last season. He didn't end up winning three in a row. Pluto won two in a row at one point in season three. Didn't end up getting three in a row. And then Sam Steed did the same thing in season one. Didn't end up getting three in a row at all either. But what Chungus did end up doing last week, though, which no one has ever been able to do, is get seven consecutive podiums.
that's really good from Chungus. Making little bits of history now and again.
Absolutely. And that'll be something to look out for. I have to think with this kind of track that surely Sam could be right to an extent because I've practiced with a couple of these guys and I'm really shocked at some of the people who are fast. Take Lajovic, for example. Lajovic, I did predict him to get pole this weekend, and we'll see if that lives up to the case as to whether or not he will. But in Britain, when he last raced, he said if he did not invalidate, he would have got pole. Yes, that will matter because you cut a corner, that is it for you. And he cut a corner, but his lap would have been good enough for pole if he didn't cut that corner. So the speed's there for Lajovic, and that's the good thing. We'll have to watch out if Red Bull can replicate what they did last season by getting a double podium and getting a pole position with Joe. Thrasher as well is another one who's looking to change things around. He's not qualified better than 17th this season, not got out of Q1. For a driver who ended up being a reserve at the end of last season, he was able to get points. He was able to make Q3 with a Mercedes. He's not been able to do anything with that Red Bull this season whatsoever. I want to see if he could change it around today. And it looks like he could pace-wise because in these practices, he's been on the pace of Pluto, Chungus, Polo, even Sam, Goggy, faster than Joe. It's really interesting to watch out for these Red Bulls, especially, yes, this is a track that will suit them, but I want to look out for both of them because both of them need a good run today. For whatever reason it may be. Lajovic to take his first podium. Thrasher to just get the bad luck out of the way and everything that's going on to start the season with him.
Yeah. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing what Blojovic and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do, what the Red Bulls can do. I'm I'm always I've raced with Blojovic before. He's a good driver, so I want to see what he can do in this race. See, I saw him in Britain and he did not do bad at all. He qualified very well. Finished in what? Where did he finish in Britain? I can't remember where he finished.
Lajovic?
But yeah,
P3. Or no, sorry, P4. P4. Got ahead of Goggy.
P4. That was
Yeah.
it. Yeah, P4. It was a very good race for Lodgewick. So hopefully, I mean, I didn't see what he could do in Belgium. So today is his redemption day for me. just to see if he can get that one step further and get a podium. So I'm looking for I really am looking forward to it. I've got almost a nervous sensation to see what can happen.
Absolutely. And there's no penalties to be served today, so everybody is clean and green, I would say.
Yeah, I saw on the penalties on the penalties chat. It was there's nothing, which is really really good.
Everything that was
Again,
served was last week.
yeah. So we've got a clean slate for everyone. Hopefully that can stay for a bit longer, not just one race.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna wait on Chungus. With Rowdy, he is typing in his ticket, so we can wait for Chungus to join, which should be any second. After he joins,
That
we will
being a
get going.
ticket formed already?
With internet, because he has to have a hard reset
Yeah.
each race.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So there you go. Did he give internet? Ah, okay. All right. Well, he's just had to be right back. I think Chungus is in here, so let's ready up.
Yeah, let's do it. Ready up all. Come on.
Speaking of things as well, how about Hissy? Hissy's in here, and guess what? This is his first start since season 1, round number 12 at Portugal. 28 races since that start. That last start, he got a points finish, and he outraced his teammate. So let's see what he can do in the Alpine today.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what he's capable of. You've got more of a view on him, but yeah, we got to see because I knew I saw a different name in the lineup today. I was like, ooh, interesting. See what he can do. Said he was from season one.
Absolutely. Someone left the lobby. Let me see who needs an invite back. That was Aaron Ocon. And hopefully he gets into a car immediately so it does not put him anywhere else. Aaron, there we go. Thank goodness. All right, well, that is situated right there. Thank goodness. I'm glad he realized that.
Ooh, there's rain. Rain in qualifying. It's gonna be a good race.
Let's see.
Here we go.
We'll find out in just a moment as to whether or not there actually is rain or not. And with Rowdy's situation, we'll figure out whether or not a reserve is needed. He said he was late. He is alive. But we need to get him a hard reset and his internet. He was just taking a little bit of time. He had something going on. So he'll be joining mid-session if he does join. And if there is a reserve, Rundle is in place and ready to go if he is not. So there you go. Let's see. Is there going to be rain in qualifying? That is what you were wondering. And in fact, I believe it was last season. It was completely bone dry. So I wanna see what it is this time. It is rain in qualifying. It is rain in qualifying. Oh boy. Full wets as
Rain in
well. It is
qualifying.
full wets as well. Oh my god.
Here we go.
Unbelievable. And is there going to be any rain in the race?
Oh, I hope so. I want that to be the case.
Heavy rain throughout the
I've seen a wet.
full qualifying session.
Brilliant. Go on board with Logic. Bring on Logic.
I'm trying to see through streams. Is there any through the race? The screen shows the race is dry, but I want to make sure that's fully accurate through the game itself. Some are thinking of inners maybe with the current track conditions, but as shown, somebody's at least going out on full wets.
I
So
think it's
let's
an
find out who it
Alpine.
is. That would either be Hissy or Riles. So let's find out. 4 pings. Okay. That is Hissy.
Hissy
Yep.
is out.
Yep.
We've got a Merc coming out as well. It's Joe.
Yep, so we're going to see who can tackle these tricky conditions. You know, I have to say, when practicing in the wet, Thrasher was quite quick. And that is weird to say for a lot of people to hear that coming out of my mouth, but he was quite quick. Pluto set a time right before they did their 5 lappers with Pluto, and Thrasher was not matched by anybody who did wet practice. So keep that in mind as we come through this qualifying session, and keep in mind if it will dry or not. Or sorry, not completely dry, but if it will dry up a little or die down with the weather. That is a big thing in this session to focus on. And Hissy will be the first car we'll watch, by the way. But while we watch Hissy, keep in mind, and I want you to watch it, Morgan, Lajovic on inners. I want to see how that is by the end of Hissy's lap. Either way.
All right, you watch Hissy. I'll watch Ludwig because you do.
Absolutely.
We'll see what happens.
Well, here we go.
I'll watch Inters.
With Hissy, he's on track, making his first lap since Season 1, F1 2021, and also coming out of the pit lane. Looks to be a Mercedes. He's going to let Hissy go. And that is the highest car that Hissy could reserve, but with Com not being here, there goes Hissy off, and he's invalidated his lap at Turn 1. With Com not being here, Hissy is the reserve driver. So there you go. Next to start a lap now will be Lajovic because Hissy invalidated that one. So we do get to watch an inner lap, and also in inners is Matty Mamu and Chungus.
Indeed, and Joseph. Joseph is there, but put on Inters as well.
Yeah, he's in the pits though, so we'll see when he comes back on track if he'll be able to do what these guys can do with Lajovic, Matty, and Chungus. Lajovic braking heavy for turn 1, trying to hit the apex. It's going to be a little bit easier to do so in these wetter conditions. And first gear, second gear, he went all the way down. Now, up the gears he will go, trying to keep those slides out of touch. And now, coming through turn 3, and on the run to turn 4, what's the first sector going to be? It's going to be a 29-1 for Lajovic. Yellow flags. And that is Chungus, who's around. He's got rear wing damage. However, Lajovic coming through the Lesmos now. And, you know, Surfy also said he's not done any wet running, so this is how much practice these drivers have in the wet. I've not been able to see if the race is actually dry or not, but we'll have a look at that once Lajovic completes his lap. Lajovic coming through to 1-0. Now, the Scary Chicane, which could be really tricky in these conditions if you touch any bit of curb. Lajovic just clipping the last curb there on the left side. You could see he was trying to avoid it. Now
so careful.
The Parabolica.
Go ahead, sorry.
And this is exactly where Joe lost the Red Bull 1-2 last season. Red Bull are going to try to take pole position today with both their drivers. Both of them feel confident enough to do so. Lajovic 31-8. He is their first driver to set a lap. That is the banker. Chungus actually spun on those inners, as mentioned previously. So we're going to see if he'll be able to go back out or not, or just watch what Matty and the rest are doing right now. Fastest right now is Polo God. We're going to go on board Brute Gorgon in the Aston Martin while we watch everything else unfold on the leaderboards. Joe set a lap, Blue Guggy set a lap.
I think there's another Alpine. Is it another Alpine? Is it Rivals? No. That's Hissy. He goes 4th. 132.
And Pluto also set on a time right behind that as well. Lajovic's inner lap actually didn't look too bad. It looks like it is almost a crossover period point, if anything.
It does look like it, doesn't it? It certainly looks heavier.
Yeah, Brute is third fastest. There you go. All we're on board with that lap. So race is dry. So there you go. That is your answer.
Who's just popped up to the top of the tables? Lando Norris with a 130.7. Pretty quick. pretty quick. Don't mind me, just gonna have another drink.
All right, Rowdy has finally given us
Polo's
that
out.
test, so I can. Oh, that is big. That's your championship leader out of qualifying.
Oh, unfortunate for Polo. Good lord.
That is huge. That is the championship leader in trouble. And if things didn't already get worse for your championship contender, Chungus, by the way, on that previous lap, like I said, rear wing damage had to go to the pits on those inners, so he's now elected for wets. So both championship contenders in trouble, one worse than the other.
Didn't I say that this race was going to be amazing? Didn't I say it's already shaping up to be a good race? We're not even halfway through Q1.
He's going to start the Italian Grand Prix from the back of the grid.
Oh, stop dropping my phone, man. That's just stupid.
Now that Rowdy's been giving an invite, let's see what he could do. And speaking of the top of the board, how about a tie? Lando and Pluto. Lando and Pluto. Lando has never led a qualifying session, and McLaren haven't led one in a long, long while. How about you go all the way back to Season 1, Round 12, Portugal? That's the car Hissy was in, but he did not lead that session. Ooh, let's see who's on a lap. Aaron Ocon is also out. Both O'Callaghan's have crashed.
Coming out of the scarring, man. That's going to be a killer. That is a killer.
And if these times continue to improve, if the conditions continue to improve, I would not rule out Polo God being completely out and not even being able to compete in Q2. Or I should say top 15, I'm sorry. Not even 15. He would not be able to compete in Q2 regardless because he crashed out, but I wouldn't rule out the fact that he'd be, 16th or lower at this point if the track conditions improve. Jab set a lap, that's third fastest. Will Cormac went fourth, he's back to the pits. Riles, Sam, Hissy, Gagi all in the top 10 with their laps. And now we're on board with Joseph, who went wide there at turn 1. Now you got turn 2 to cover, and shifting up the gears will go. You want to shift up quite quick to avoid any sort of traction loss and a spin. Turn 3 now for Joseph. Rowdy's joined the session, so now Rowdy can put on a setup and go out there. These conditions that you're running in are on dry setups if that's what you're running for the race. And I'd assume that's everybody, since the race is dry. That may be what helped Polo God go around and into the barrier. Surfy set a lap, by the way. That is not even faster than Aaron Ocon's time. And Joseph is sliding. Is he going to go around? He saved it and kept it straight. So the conditions are tricky out there. But Joseph was able to stay in the session. Oh, somebody just set a lap right there. That was GSR Thrasher, who went 7th. And someone else did too. I think that was Chungus. Able to set in a time. He's in a better position trying to get out of Q1 this time compared to last week.
Yeah, you were talking about the dry setup affecting the drivers. Oh, Jab goes quickest with a 130.766. That is pretty good. Pretty good. Especially, I was going to say, everyone's, I would assume, is on a dry setup. So that's rather good for Jab there. But again, it's going to be tricky. Dry setup and wet track does not work well.
I swear someone set in a time, or at least improved from the last time. But if that's just me, I think somebody is actually improving, and that's Surfy, because I am on board with him. Coming through with Scary, he was at least a second up, so he's going to knock Aaron Ocon even lower, and might knock Maddie below the cutoff. And if you want to look where Polo is completely, he'd be 5th out of everybody with that lap. How about Surfy coming to the line? Surfy's going to be 11th. He'll be in for now.
Oh, Sam loses it coming out of Scary.
He kept it off the wall, too.
Kept it off the wall.
This is going to be a big, big issue for people. It's going to be keeping off the wall when you crash.
Definitely.
And, in fact, both of Callahan's crashed into Scary. He did not hit a thing. But don't come back in front of the track. Whoa, that was close. Who was that? Chungus? Jab? Jab, who is improving on a lap. Let's look on board with Jab, who goes faster. 60 thousandths ahead now, instead of 6 thousandths.
Not bad. Oh, GSR Riles, he goes quickest for
There you go.
130.6.
This is how much these times are changing. I'm going to go on board with Joseph. Joseph's 4 seconds up right now. Joseph could go to the top of the board. Nope, he will not. 6th place, though. That lap was faster than Polo's. And that's just continuing to plummet Polo down the order.
Really is. Good lord.
So like I said, he might still get into Q2, but won't be able to compete, as well as the fact that he could be out of qualifying completely, to where he doesn't even make Q2 on time.
Rowdy hasn't set a lap yet, so depending on what Rowdy can do.
7th. Yeah. Let me stick with one driver and go on board with them. How about Lajovic? He's in the bottom 5 right now. And he's 7/10 up, purple in Sector 2. This qualifying session is going to be absolutely close once we get to the finish here. Riles on top, who's not been on top in a session since Imola, got a podium last week, broke that podium streak. Alpine broke that podium streak. Now Lajovic also trying to break a streak from his side of things with starts to podium conversion. And that is about 8-9 starts for Lajovic, something like that. Lajovic coming to the line right now. Is this going to be top of the board? He should be in for the next session. How about this? 9th place. That knocks CJ down. And we don't need to look at him go for another one because he's currently safe. He's currently in. CJ, however, is going for another one. And that's Hissy, who's crashed out of the session. Hissy was doing so well, and now he's out. That is 3 drivers out of the session. One's completely down there on pace, and that's Aaron. But Paulo and Hissy are out. You can see CJ struggling through turn 1, 2. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We'll come back in, probably going to go on new wet tyres, maybe. I don't know. Well, they might as well. New wet tyres.
Either wet tires or the same one, depending on what next session's like.
Yeah, exactly.
CJ now coming through the Lesmos. Yeah, these drivers on dry setups is a big factor in whether or not they stay in the session or not. Look at CJ just sliding right there in the grass for a second. That is how treacherous it is out there. Rowdy TJ Boy has 4.5 minutes to get out there if he wants to have a lap to get in the Q2, and he possibly could at this point with how everything is going on.
Staying on board with Ludwig, he was 4/10 up in the middle sector, so we'll see where that can put him. Oh yeah, Chungus.
There you go. That is exactly what he needed after Polo God crashed out of the session to start off with. Polo God going to be starting potentially as low as 15th. Jab thinks he's safe. I think that's a fair assumption from Jab, but CJ has come into the line. He cannot improve whatsoever. Who else is in the bottom 5? How about his teammate? Joe Hansel's on track, and he's right in front of Matty Mimu. Or sorry, Brew Gorgon. Will Cromack to the top. That's a 30.3. Surely anybody in this top 6 is safe at this point.
I would imagine so. 3 minutes left in the session. It's going to take him a while to get round.
If I was... Good.
No, continue.
I was going to say, if I was Rowdy, I'd get out now, by the way, just because I'd want to set myself up for 2 laps. But go ahead.
Rowdy's got to come out. Ryan, keep going. Keep commentating. I've got to go get some things. 1 moment. I'll be back.
Well, Joe Hansel's got a car in front of him. That was the Williams getting out of the way, but now he's going to come to the sector split, hoping to improve and hoping to be up by a lot. He's up by 1.7. Purple in that sector. If he were to complete this lap, this would set him anywhere between Surfy and CJ. As CJ crashed out of this session, he has! And Joe's off the road right there. Some drivers electing to go to inners currently, thinking the track conditions are getting better. Rowdy is now out on track, finally. So that is 4 drivers out of this session based on a crash, and in fact, CJ's time is what you need to beat, really. Even Surfy's time is where you're going to have to beat. Anyway, Joe coming to the line. Joe is going to be ahead of Matty Mimu, but not CJ. That slide definitely hindered him, but he'll definitely go for another one with the looks of things. Matty Mimu also on a lap. Matty Mimu also trying to get out of the bottom 5. 4/10 up on his time. Matty's kind of struggled in the session as of recent. And you could argue, is this what he needs? A Haas is maybe what he needs, but for Matty Mimu, he's coming through the Lesmos right now, only being 4/10 up. He could beat Joe. However, he's going to have to beat CJ and Surfy to get in. Brute Gorgon currently into Q2 right now if things stand. Currently on laps, or at least on outlaps out on this racetrack, is Pluto, Joseph, Thrasher, Goggy, and others. Sam could think he's safe. I would understand as to why, but A lot of things can happen in these last 2 minutes. Matty is up by 9/10. He's got a car in front of him. Who is that? Is that maybe a slipstream right here? Who is this? Who is coming to help Matty Mimo out? Is this a Haas? I think it is. That might be Pluto. Matty Mimo has maybe just got the help to get him out of Q1. Sam is retired, maybe thinking he's safe. Not going to compete anymore in this session. But Matty Mimo is coming out of the final corner. Can Matty Mimo get out of Q1? Matty Mimo crosses the line. He is! He is out of Q1! Fair play to Matty.
Brilliant stuff.
He's knocked
Brilliant
Surfy
stuff.
down. He's knocked Surfy down to that spot. And Surfy's going to have to improve here. Let's see if he will improve by this first sector split. Surfy has made Q3 in the three of his 4 starts this season. Last week was the only time he didn't make it. 4/10 up in purple. This could knock Brew Gorgon out, so Brew Gorgon has to get a lap in. Joe Hansel's out. He's retired in the pit lane. Rowdy, it's up to him now as well. Surfy is off. Let's go on board with Rowdy. Rowdy now has to get himself in to Q2. That spot to get in is between Brew Gorgon, Doggy, Thrasher, and even Sam could be in the mix of things in a moment. Rowdy TJ Boy 0-1. Up to third is Thrasher right there. He is ahead of Riles, and Rowdy is just sliding right here. He's almost around. He's out.
Rowdy's out. He's in the wall.
That is it from him. So now it's down to Surfy and Brute for that transfer spot. And potentially Doggy in the mix of things, who could knock his teammate Sam out.
Going into Parabolica.
10 seconds remain. If he gets to the line, he could get another lap, but I don't think it will be the case here. It will be close for Surfy. Surfy will not get another lap. This will be it for Surfy. Can Surfy get out of the bottom 5? No, he will not. That is it. Brew Gorgon's in. Blue Goggy's in. Sam is safe. And so is Lodgevic. However, if anyone still completes a lap, they might be able to go faster than Will Chromac here. Brew Gorgon is still in a lap. Pluto elects to go to the pit lane. Who is that coming to the line? That was Matty, but he goes to the pit lane knowing he's safe and he's in the top 10. However, can his teammate do the same thing even though he knows he's safe? He's 13th. Many drivers out of qualifying, whether it's a crash or through pace. Brew Gorgon improves. No positions, though. The only one who is looking to improve maybe a position is Thrasher, but I think he's backed off of this.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Off in 1 second. Lockdown. Yeah, he goes into the pit. So there you go.
Think about it. If you think about it, it is a transfer spot, Graham, because Brew Gorgon was able to hold on and stay in the position that he needed to, because it was really through 13th to 16th there whether or not you're going to be in, because Hissy and Polo God got through on pace, but they crashed out. So that is it for them. So that bottom 5 in the elimination zone consists of 2 Mercedes, Surfy, Aaron Ocon again for the 2nd consecutive week, and Rowdy TJ Boy, who has just not been able to get himself out of Q1. But someone who has got himself out of Q1 has been Thrasher, best qualifying this season. He said his goal was Q2, and he's got in.
Really good stuff by Thrasher. You know, he's finally up there, finally back up there. You know, and I keep saying it. I know I keep saying it, but I am looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to Q2, Q3, and the race. I just want it to happen. I want the race to happen now. If that was the grid, for the race, I wouldn't mind. I'd just be like, yep, let's go. Let's do it now.
So Hissy and Polo got into Q2, but they will not be able to compete based on their crashes. In the bottom 5, it consists of Surfy, CJ, Joe, Aaron, and Rowdy once again. And that top 3 in Q1 consisted of Will, a little bit ahead, maybe a 10th and a half ahead. Chungus in 2nd, and Thrasher in that top 3. I have to say, it has been a long while since I've seen Thrasher top 3 in a qualifying session, whether it's Q1, Q2, or Q3. But let's see if he can get into Q3 now for GSR Thrasher as we head on to Q2. And has the rain died down at all? Is the bigger question.
Sorry, it's a good question. It does look a little bit lighter. We'll see what happens. I might go on to Inters. Um, it's interesting to see who will go out first. Who wants to set the benchmark of the of Q2? And Alfa Romeo is going out first. Looks like it's either Goggy or Sam. I believe it's Goggy.
Could be. It looks like it's an Alfa Romeo or Ferrari. And I think it is an Alfa Romeo. It's Sam.
Sam.
Sam Steed is out on track. Let's talk about Sam for a moment at the start of the season. I think he has definitely found a rhythm. I have to look at time trial at least. I know it did not mean anything last season because GSRLs, he had a 20.0 in time trial last season and was quite fast heading into the weekend, but did absolutely nothing when it came to the race. And I know that sounds really bad for Riles, but he did not perform up to expectation. He was faster than Pluto in time trial, did not qualify Pluto last season, didn't even outrace Pluto last season. Sam Steed, is it going to be the same thing for him, or are you going to change anything compared to what Riles did last season? Sam Steed's got a 20.0 in time trial as well. He seems quite fast this weekend. And he feels like he has the upper edge once again on his teammate for the second week in a row. Sam Steed has to try to get himself into Q3 if he wants to avoid the trouble on lap 1 that he's been in for how many other weeks in a row except for last week. So we'll have to find out what Sam can do, and we'll go on board with him to start off as Aaron Ocon has left the session.
Re-invite him. No worries. Thank you.
And starting out in inners, by the way, is Goggy and Lando. That'll be something interesting to watch out for in the later stages of this qualifying session, whether or not they're able to compete with everyone else in the inners compared to the wets. And let's see at that point if the inners become faster by the end of the session. Here's Sam Steed going for a lap now in his Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo, third in the Constructors. Sam Steed, also top 10 in the Constructors. So he started off quite to his standards. Maybe not a winner or podium, but with the results that he's wanting. And he's just looking for a top 5 today, said Sam. Now coming through turn 2, up the gears he'll go. 3rd gear, 4th gear, and now up to 5th. Waiting a little bit to shift the gears compared to what we saw on board with Joseph. Now yellow flags at the sector 3, and there's no crashes, but it's just drivers waiting to start a lap. That's a 28.8 in the first sector for Sam. So you can see a little bit the times are improving. Not by a lot, but they are continuously improving. It's not like they're getting worse. However, Sam coming through the Lesmos now. Lesmo 1 and then Lesmo 2 is up next. Ooh, a little slide. You know,
Bit of a twitch.
I get the joke about Sam struggling, but the reality is with his spins, it is fair to say that at one point he was struggling in Q1. And he did retire maybe a little early, but he luckily got into Q2 and has set himself up for getting into Q3 now, as he has a .2 in the middle sector. Trying to find the limits at a Scar. You could see just a little bit of a cut right there, but got away with it. And just sliding a little bit of a Scar as well now on the run to Parabolica. Sam Steed in this race last season, well, he didn't even race last season in this race, so we have nothing to go off of Italy-wise. However, his last pole position actually came in Imola, a track in Italy, and that is Brew Gorgon. Crashed out of the session, so that's trouble for his name, but 31.3 for Sam. That is the benchmark time that drivers will have to beat.
Will Chromac coming up to Parabolica, going down to 4th, possibly. Nope, staying in 4th. Coming out of Parabolica, seeing what he can do. What was his thing? Never mind, he goes 130.7.
He was fastest in Q1, so far fastest in Q2. Let's see if anyone else can replicate that. How about GSR Thrasher next across the line? GSR Thrasher, he is starting a lap, in fact. He was the last one to come into the line to start a lap. Lando setting a time. How about Joseph going faster than Will right now? Pluto's going to go even faster. And Riles is up next. Riles, can he go faster than Pluto? No, but he slots in right just behind him. GSR Thrasher now coming through turn 2. Turn 3, up the gears he'll go. 4th gear, 5th gear. And now with this dry setup that he's got, he's just trying to avoid the spins that we've seen everybody, it seems like, has had. 28.9 in that first sector. Brew Gorgon out of this qualifying session, meaning 2 drivers will be eliminated on pace. Inners for Lando on that lap, by the way, too. Thrasher on wets, now coming through the Lesmos. Let's see, Sam had a .2. He was a second off. Thrasher had a little slide there. We're going to see what the sector split is in a moment to see where on pace GSR Thrasher is. Also coming to the line was Jab. That was 5th place from him. Also Lojovic, 5th place from him. Takes over 5th from Jab. Thrasher now at this middle sector, .0, so he's 0.2 above Sam. This could be in between Lajovic and Jab, depending on what Sector 3 is like. Ooh, a little wide there from Thrasher, but keeps it on track. Yellow flags.
We've got someone around. Lando possibly going slowly for Ascari.
Thrasher heads to a Parabolica, and now will come out of Parabolica. Looking for that run to the line, looking for a potential Q3 today. Thrasher comes to the line. What will he do? How about second place? He had much of an improvement regardless of the slide in the third sector. Purple sector 3. Pluto goes faster. And let's see if he goes for a third one. Let's see if he goes for a third one here. I think he is backing off. Yes, he is. Yeah, that's the third time he's left session so far today. Oh, Matty Momo! Matty Momo could be our next yellow flag. Oh, he keeps it off the wall. Luckily, right there.
Ascari is the killer.
It has been. Aaron Ocon, Polo God. There will probably be more. Regardless if it's wet or dry. 2 safety cars. Lodgevic's mom predicts, by the way. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, Chromax, that's I think maybe a personal best. Oh no,
Purple.
Second sector.
There you go. How is this going to compare to Pluto now? Well, Chromac and that Ferrari has definitely found something. Ever since being in that Alpine and struggling at the start of the season, I must say, fair play to him with this change of things.
He's running low on fuel though. That's the killer though. That might help.
He will
him,
be. So this may show that it's his last lap on track for right now. Where's he gonna go? 30.3. Slots in right in between Thrasher and Thrasher and Pluto. Also, 3 drivers have yet to set times who are still in this session. That includes Matty, Blugagi, and Chungus. And we're going to go on board with Blugagi because he's currently in the bottom 3.
Alright, sounds like a good idea.
Also, I got permission to mention this. I wanted to be 100% before mentioning this, but Thrasher, you know, I just always wonder, where does this pace come from? And it seems like going through a bad time, you end up finding something good. There's always good out of a bad time. Well, Thrasher mentioned on Friday that in his family he had a passing, and he wasn't even sure if he wasn't even sure if he was going to race this race or not. He wasn't sure whether or not he had to go somewhere because of it or whatnot. Whatever the case is personally. And for Thrasher right now to just at least be in Q2 and have a chance at Q3, that is a good story for him to have. Especially with how he started off the season. On board with Gagi. And let's see if he can get himself into the top 10 here. And in fact, Brute Gorgon would be in the Q3 right now if you think about it. Because he's currently 10th with that time, with no time. So, anyway, Gagi, 28.6.
Icing on the cake.
That would be. Hey, Chungus is on the inners. That could happen. So let's see how he does on the inners after Gagi's lap. Gagi coming through now. Yellow flags there. But Blue Gagi.
Low Will Chromac.
28.6 in that first sector, by the way. In the second sector so far, it seemed clean. However, it's looked that way. Is it actually that way lap time-wise? A 0.0 there. So he would be ahead of Sam, it looks like. Now it's down to this third sector here. And Lando Shirley coming back out as well, going for another lap. A little wide there from Gagi, but no issue with any slides. Joseph F1 goes third. That's where he qualified in this race last season. And that was also in the dry. Oh, a car at the final corner. This could get in Gagi's way. Will Chromac trying to get out of the way. Luckily, he does so. Gagi sliding there just for a moment. Gagi now coming to the line. Can Blue Gagi set himself into Q3? Not the top of the board, but it will be 8th ahead of his teammate. So he's going to have to go again. Chungus may have to go again as well in these inners. Let's find out. Chungus, the only driver electing to go to the inners. Is this faster by any means? Turn 1 and Turn 2 was okay so far. Third gear now, fourth gear, up the gears will go. Have to shift up a little quicker than that to avoid some slides. I saw a little one. Now, Turn 3. And sticking all the way to that right side curb. Now, coming through. He's going to go 28.7. There you go. After Chungus' lap, let's get an interview.
Ooh, slides coming out.
Ooh.
Five.
Yeah. Both Lesmos, now he's coming through a little wide. This isn't horrible at all by any means. Now, Burgogon in the bottom 3. Lando set on a time faster than Gagi and Sam. Chungus coming through. After this, let's get an interview with maybe Hissy.
Okay.
First start since season 1. Chungus a .3. So this is a round where Sam and Gagi is. However, the risk for him is going to be elimination. Can he get back to the pit lane in time? Oh, he's spinning though!
Spun.
So he's going to go back to the pit lane for sure now. If these inners are not what he wants.
And he lost an end plate, but that's going to really affect him.
4 minutes remain. Let's get an interview in with Hissy. Let's see if he wants one. I'm interested to see.
Oh, he's
Oh! He is so lucky not to be out of this session right now. More trouble for second place in the championship now.
left 3 on the exit of Parabolica. Oh god. Just a lonely front wing.
Pluto thinks he's safe. 30.1, top of the board for him. He's going to be probably through to Q3, and same with Will Cromack.
Sam comes in.
Sam does come in. Let's go on board with somebody else. Blue Goggy, 27,000.
Blue Goggy's on
So, Hissy said his mic was not working. Let's see about Rowdy, though. Rowdy was a little late into the session. I want to talk to him being bottom of the board with his crash, because we were on board with him when that happened.
We were. Will Cromack has retired. I think he's safe. Coming through Q3.
Is this a fair assumption for Will, though? Being safe? Joseph maybe does. Goggy's purple.
Goggy is purple going through the second sector. Looks like he might have gone a little bit wide going through the halfway through of Iscariot there. Coming down through onto the back straight. Really stretching them gears. Going from 7th to 8th. Coming into Parabolica. Goes down to 4th. Holds it on 4th gear. Again, goes quite wide. I've noticed.
Coming to the line. This could get him through to Q3 for sure. At least get him closer. It only gets him closer. So he's currently
Still 9th.
only in 9th. Yeah. Rowdy not in interview or not in an interview mood. Let's see who else was out. CJ maybe. Let's get CJ quickly.
Yeah. Try and get CJ in.
Actually, we got some laps on board with here. Lando went 3rd, by the way, just to mention. I know he did not catch that, but this is where it's make or break for everybody. Maddie on the wets. Yeah, let's get CJ in quickly for a quick question or two with his
I'll stay on board with
exit.
Lando.
Let's see if there's anybody else. I don't see CJ appeared online, so I'm going to get Polo instead.
Alright.
I'm just going to ask him one question quickly as we got Maddie going purple, because this is important to get these laps in.
31.
Very important. Maddie Momo. He is trying to get himself out of the bottom 3. You could call it the bottom 5, but really it's really the bottom 2 with pace-wise.
Chungus is still in pits.
Still in the pits, so Chungus is out of qualifying. That's it. So the top 2 in the championship are not going to start any better than 13th. Wow. Mighty Momo comes to the line. Matty Momo is in and knocks Sam Steed out. 9th place is Matty Momo, ahead of his brother.
Chungus hasn't left the pit lane. What?
Polo God's realizing it. So Polo, let's talk to you now quickly as some drivers are on laps and out laps. Quick question, and then we'll let you go. 15th on the grid. Yep. Chungus is 13th. You guys are both going to have to come from the back of the grid. Can you do it? And how are you going to do it with dry conditions now after a wet qualifying?
Just take advantage of the straight line speed. I'm not too disheartened about crashing qualifying because it's Monza. Monza's one of the best tracks to overtake. So I guess just keep a positive mind heading into the race, avoid the carnage, and try and beat Chungus. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. All drivers starting their final lap now. Morgan, any quick questions for Polo?
No questions for Polo. Just good luck. Definitely take advantage of that straight line speed. But yeah, good luck in the race.
Alright, thank you.
So yeah, that now means one driver will be eliminated on pace then. And currently, that's Sam Steed. There's an Alpine coming to the line. That is GSR Riles. That's a lap being started. So none being finished for him. Jab, I think, is next. However, that's the checkered flag. So whoever that was, either it was Jab or someone else, got their last lap in. There's an Aston Martin crossing the line of Matty Mamu. Any improvement? No. Goggy can't improve either right now. So if Goggy can't improve and Sam does, Sam knocks his teammate out at that point. And are the conditions getting worse if this is the case? Goggy's not improving, so we'll switch to Sam. Yeah, we'll switch to Sam because Goggy's not improving. Sam has to keep this out of the wall and has to keep this on track and has to keep this going. In the right direction, of course. Now, Sam, the final corner for him. Is he going to knock his teammate out of qualifying? This would be big. Goggy has made Q3 in every race so far. Chung has made Q3 in every race so far. Polo God did previously. Can Goggy do the same? Sam coming to the line. Goggy's out of qualifying, meaning Jeb is the only one to make Q3 every race. Wow. 3 of the 4 drivers who've made Q3 in every race are knocked out of qualifying. Lajovic aborts that lap and comes to the pit lane. Thrasher, is he going to finish this one? Thrasher needs something to go his way. Can Thrasher start off Q3 by going to the top? No, just second. Lando is next. Jab. Sorry, Riles before Lando and Riles. There you go, yeah. Apologies. Riles coming next. Riles does not improve. He doesn't need to. Jab doesn't need to either. Comes to the line, finishes his lap. Same with Lando. Both don't need to improve. And how about that? Wow. We are in for a banger of a race. This is going to be fun.
Didn't I say it, Ryan? Didn't I say it? I knew I had a good feeling.
Chungus from 13th. Blue Goggy from 11th. Polo from 15th. Wow. I am amazed. And look at the gap to even get in. It's 7/10 right there. In a wet session. Pluto on top. In the wet.
It's so close.
Yeah,
I mean, look at the gap between 7th and 9th. There's like, what?
200s maybe?
200s, yeah, 200s with it in them. Yeah, it's
big factor. Big factor. Blue Goggy out of qualifying. That may be the big shocker. And Chungus as well. Chungus being the same shocker as well. Yeah. But no worries, Hissy. We might get one driver in for Q3 when it comes to interviews. I think the only one who might join us is Goggy. Goggy is the one who actually joins, yeah. So there you go. That is Q2 done and dusted. Pluto on top. Thrasher is into Q3 again for the first time since Austria in Season 3. How many races ago that was? That's like, what, 8 races ago? Maybe 9? That's impressive. Will Cromack also in. Lando going to contend for pole. He's going to try to make his best starting position possible above 6th. Joseph, Lajovic, Jab, Riles, Matty Momo, and Sam Steed as well. All into Q3. Goggy, Brew Gorgon, and Chungus out. That is crazy to think about.
It really is.
Wow.
What a qualifying session to come back to as well.
Yeah, I know. It seems like the gaps through Q1 and Q2 have been quite big, but let's get a close gap for pole for Q3. We had a 10.5 in Q1, nearly 3/10 in Q2. This is getting feisty.
It is. I wonder what the gap will be in Q3.
Let's find out. The 2 championship contenders out of qualifying. Now this is Jab's time to shine, and it really will be. Can he get pole under the pressure, or is he going to fold under the pressure? Let's talk about our drivers in Q3 from 1st to 10th. How about Lajovic right now? Lajovic, his best start previously, 8th. His last Q3 appearance, Britain, and did not race last season in Monza. So there's nothing to go off with this track from him. Will Cromack, next on that list. 5 poles, 5 front row starts. If he takes pole today, he has the most poles in the league. And he would have 3 poles in this season, if that were to be the case. Also, with Will, he is the only repeat pole sitter this season and qualified 8th last season in Monza. Also on that list of drivers includes Joseph. Want to talk about Joseph? Well, 3rd last season. That's his best start. His last CNF comes all the way back at round 5 in Singapore. His consecutive starting streak ended last week. Jab, 4th place. 18 consecutive Q3s. How about make it 19? That's an impressive record for Jab. And Q3 for Williams as well. They just continue to pile up on the amount of Q3s they have. How about with Williams, you go to now 21 consecutive Q3s. Let's get through this a little quicker with Jap. 4 front row starts, 2 poles, qualified 6th last season. Thrasher, well, we don't have much on Thrasher this season besides the fact is his best qualifying before today in this season was 17th. Didn't make Q3 this season, now he has 2 poles, 4 front row starts, and didn't race Monza last season. Matty Memo next on that list as well. Matty Memo for him, 3 front row starts, 1 pole, didn't race Italy last season, it was the last race before he finally made a start. Lando, next on this list, best start, 6th place, that's twice for Lando. Lando is now on 10 consecutive Q3 appearances, and he has the 2nd most starts without a pole or win, and qualified 11th last season. Ryle's up next. Ryle's on the list of people. 1 front row start, 32 starts without a pole position. On number 33, can he get it today? And started 12th last season. His last Q3 appearance before today was in Mexico, the season opener, and that was also a wet qualifying 2 at one point. Also, Sam Steed on this list, who's starting a lap now. Sam Steed, 7 front row starts, 5 poles, 4th place in Jeddah. That's his best start this season. His last pole and win come 28 races ago. He didn't race Monza last season, but now he's looking to go for pole. As we go on board with Sam, let's see what he can do. Turn 1, turn 2. And lastly, Pluto as well. Pluto, 3 starts with Aston, 3 starts with Haas. 7 front row starts, his best start this season is 3rd. He started 2nd last season and made Q3 3 times. Sam, 29.4 to set the benchmark for turn number 1. Now coming through. Turn 4 and 5, the 2nd chicane there. Now coming through the 2 Lesmos. He had a little slide here moments ago on his opening lap in Q2, I believe. But now the 2nd Lesmo looks clean. However, has to be on the exit if he wants to keep that provisional pole he's going to keep when he completes this lap. Next behind that is Pluto, who will also finish the lap at the same time. However, the difference in strategy here in this qualifying session, by the way, 1-2 from Sam, as Sam is the one in inners, trying a bold strategy here in Q3. Same with Maddie, having to try something different to maybe get pole. 8 minutes and 30 seconds remain. Now Sam, coming to Parabolica. Can Sam set himself on pole position and can he keep it? As he comes to the line, he'll be on pole for now. That'll be provisional pole. Pluto will be next. He'll be the one maybe to knock him off. Can he do so? Sam, what's this time looking like? It's a 32.8. Pluto is up next. Is he going faster on the wets, though? Pluto comes to the line. It is a 30.7, so he does knock him off. How will knocking him off? 29.7. Next is Lojovic. Lojovic coming to the line. Can Lojovic take pole? Nobody takes 2nd place. Matty Memo and Lando next. Can Lando go fast? Lando goes 3rd ahead of Pluto. So there you go. 5 drivers have clocked in times.
We have broken the 129s now.
Yeah.
That's really, really good going. I thought we wouldn't, honestly. I thought
Jab
we'd
is
stay in
next.
the 130.
Ahead of Lando and Pluto. There's a couple drivers on outlaps, but Riles is up next to the finish line. Can Riles do something? Yes, 4th place. He ties Jab's time. Riles is on a really good streak now. After that podium. Fair play.
I think he's got some pep back in this step, you know. He's really fighting for it.
Absolutely. We'll go on board with GSR Thrasher and watch his lap, then we'll get an interview in. Here's GSR Thrasher up next to start a lap.
Oh,
9th place
spins
right now.
coming out of Ascari. Does he keep it
Is
off
this
the wall?
out? Oh, he's still in the session. He is a lucky man right there. But he keeps pole position in the time, being Lojovic also front row. This would be his best start if things stand. Same with Lando, who's in 5th. Thrasher now trying to have his first pole in 3 seasons, and that would be a big, big streak. Also crossing the line was somebody. That was Pluto improving, sorry. Yeah, Pluto 3rd. Lando was up next as well. Lando also improves, but not by much. How about Thrasher, who's purple in the 1st sector now, sliding through turn 4 and 5 in the 2nd chicane. Now, coming through the Lesmos, he's going to have to find time after that slide. Thrasher going to have to try to beat his teammate this week. His teammate's currently 2nd right now. Thrasher on that curb, just sliding a little. Now, what's this middle sector going to be from Thrasher? Can he find something in this middle sector? 0.0. So this is looking all right. This is looking maybe like top 3 material if he doesn't spin. No! That is it for him. For now.
For now.
Joseph Purple in the
There's
first
still a
sector.
lot
We'll go
of
on board with
qualifying
him while we interview Gagi. Let's get him in here.
We want to get Goggy in.
See if somebody besides Polo gives an interview. Let's see.
But no request. Here he is.
Hello, Gagi. So, 59.4 from Joseph. Let's finish this lap first before we get to Gagi, because Joseph could be on for what could be provisional pole with how that second sector was. Out of Ascari now. If he can come out of Parabolica as straight as he was out of Ascari, and with no slides, he could definitely be top 2. Oh, little slide there.
Wide.
That was the jinx. But Joseph's still on a good lap. Coming to the line. Joseph, 7th. Yeah, that slide definitely ruined it, because he probably would have been 3rd.
Commentator's curse.
It is.
Commentator's curse. That's right there.
Absolutely. Gagi, welcome along. Let's talk to you quickly. You know, you qualified 11th, not in Q3 for the first time this season. Same with your other friends there who are near you every week, Chungus and Polo. Does that make you feel a little bit better that you were in Q3, or no?
You know, it is obviously disappointing missing out, but, you know, seeing as a few of my other championship rivals are also out, it makes me feel a bit better, seeing as I'm not at a complete disadvantage, but then again, you also have people like Jam right up there, I presume. But yeah, if anything, just gives me more motivation to do even better in the race, basically.
Absolutely. Morgan, any questions?
No questions for you, Goggy. Only thing is, it's unfortunate you didn't make it into Q3.
GSR Thrasher, hold on! GSR Thrasher! Even with that slide he had at Ascari, by the way, 4th place for him, so he has time to find. Good.
Yeah, unfortunately you didn't get into Q3. You've been very consistent most of the time. Just looking forward to seeing what you can do in the race. Have a good time.
Yeah, definitely be interesting. Turn 1 at least will be trying to survive as much as I can. But
try and keep it clean.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have been getting quite good starts, so that should be a thing.
We'll watch for you.
I believe that Pad is quicker than Wheel in terms of starts, but yeah, we'll just see what happens.
Well, anyway, good luck in the race today, Goggy.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Will
Bye.
Cromack now on a lap. 3 minutes remain to get in your laps. Whether it's to get in your laps, finish your laps, whatever it is. That is down in 8th. Yep, that's at turn 3. Will Cromack's up on his time. Let's keep on board with him. Will Cromack coming through the chicane, clean through there. Can he improve on that pole time? It would be 2 in a row, 3 this season, the most all time. This would be big for URS. Lajovic also on the front row. This would be his best start as well if he keeps it up. Next to the line is a Red Bull. I think that's someone starting a lap. Excuse me.
I think that's Thrasher starting a lap.
Yeah, same with Pluto and same with everyone else. They're trying to get in 2 runs here, which makes total sense. Will Cromack is now down, so he's lost time. It seems like everyone who tried the inners was okay on pace. Will invalidated. Yep, there you go. Yeah, it seems like everyone who tried the inners was okay on their time, but weren't exactly the fastest. Lajovic now a 2nd down on his time, so more people are losing time. Jab 2/10 down. More drivers are going down in their times. What's GSR Thrasher doing? Down in his time. A lot of people are down in their time. Is anybody going to improve at this rate?
Joseph isn't. He's spun, and I think he's spun again going into the West Lasmo stage.
Lando's also only going to have 1 lap in here too, by the way. I think the conditions are just getting worse.
Is Mask on a lap?
He is. Yes. I want to see what
Going a
Pluto
bit
is at this
slow.
sector. Pluto's up, though. Pluto's the only one in that top 5 who's up. Let's see this. Ascari now. He's just having to tiptoe it around there. Now, out of Ascari for Pluto. Every time he's taken pole position, he's won a race. So let's find out if that could be the case.
Sam's
Sam's
out.
out. That's 9th. He'll only qualify best of 9th now. Pluto coming to the line. He's going to have 1 more run in this. But what's this time going to be? Pluto, can he go better than 5th? coming to the line, needing something when the top two are out in qualifying. Pluto does go ahead of Thrasher. That's a place improvement.
Very good by Pluto. Yeah,
Thrasher's
very
in,
good.
so that's it for Thrasher's qualifying session. He's bailed. He's bailed completely. Jab's up on his time, 34 thousandths. They know they're just going to have to perfect these laps in order to find time. Will Chromax also only 2/10 down, but good.
Sorry, Lando, I think he's just got onto a lap now.
Yes, and he's trying to find his best starting spot. Jab 68 thousandths right there, up on his time. Jab could knock Lajovic off the front row. That was purple through there. He slid out of Ascari just a little. So let's find out. What can Jab Bully MSU do? This could be big for the man third in the championship. Checkered flag for Thrasher. It'll only be a best qualifying a fifth. Still impressive by Thrasher. However, what can Jab do? Coming out of the final corner. Can Jab go pole? Jab coming to the line. Just barely off of Will. 27 thousandths. Lajovic's not improving. And Pluto, I can't tell. Lando is up next. After Pluto. Coming to the sector split. A 10th. A 10th down he was in the first sector, Lando. What's the sector split looking like? Lando. A 10th down still.
Plus 10 down.
And Pluto's 2/10 down as well. Can anybody find time with Will's lap? Jab was able to go to the front row. Lajovic still in his best starting spot nonetheless. What can Pluto do? Pluto's in.
Lando's out. Lando spun coming out of scarring. Matt also came off. Lost his front end plate. That's it, I think. Is Will up?
Even though Matty
down
lost
by
his
a
end
tenth.
plate, he's not going to beat Sam on his time. So there you have it. Will Cromack, your all-time pole sitter now. 6 front rows, 6 poles. Every time he's started on the front row, he's taking pole. How about
He'll do
that?
it in style, finish in style. Do a spin at the final. No. So there you go. Well, Chromax, have you done, is that 3 times now?
3 times this season. There you go.
Brilliant.
How about you go down the running order? 27 thousandths.
You started it. Okay. What have we got? We got Jab, 27 thousandths off Will Chromack, then Lodrovic, Pluto, Thresher with a very good finish in 5th, Ryle 6th, Joseph coming down in 7th, Lando Norris in 8th, Sam Steed in 9th, and Matty Mumu rounding out the top 10 with a 134.6. This is going to be a very interesting race, don't you think, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ready to see what's going to happen. Lando looked like he could have had his best start, didn't. Also, in the thick of things as well, Lajovic, best starting spot for him. So let's see what they could all do in the race. This is now where everybody messes with fuel, messes with tires, and waits till 1:02 Eastern and 6:02 UK to ready up. Cloudy race. Let's see what happens.
Can you send me the tire strategy, please?
I just have it as listed as medium hards and hard medium. Now, however, I will say this though, because that's what you can do. You either do medium hard or hard medium. That's the very likely strategies. However, I do have this to say. Don't count out the fact that someone, and I'm not thinking of who could, but someone could try soft to hard. Will it work? I don't know. Will it happen? Again, I don't know. But let's find out. I'm going to quickly be right back. How about you talk about our championship standings, as well as
Championship
the strategies
standings.
as well.
Okay, let's have a look. Championship standings. Let's get onto Discord quickly. Da-da-da-da-da. Championship standings. Where are they? Here we go. Right. Who have we got on top? We have Williams at the top with 153 points. They must have. Did they get? I can't remember if they got a better. They got some points last race. I think they did. So yeah, we got Williams with 153 points. And then we have Haas in second with 138. 15 points between them. Let's see what Haas can do. Alfa Romeo coming in third with 75 points. Again, we'll see if they can get a good finish, if they can bump up those points. Ferrari coming in fourth with 42. Alpine with 32. the 10 points between them. See if they can have a good battle between them today. We then have McLaren with 27, Aston with 27, and Red Bull with 24. So there's a battle for sixth place in the championship there currently. But
All big
that's
factors
going
in
to be
this race.
intriguing to see.
All big
Oh
factors.
yes, indeed.
The
All
teammates
big
had to
factors.
perform with Chungus and Polo not having good qualifyings whatsoever. So let's see what happens. 20 seconds till drivers are able to ready up. And speaking of that, let's talk about the pit stop loss before anything else. The pit stop loss is anywhere from that's 10 seconds early. I don't know who did it, but 10 seconds early. But speaking of things, the pit stop loss here is anywhere from 24 to 25 seconds. If you include turn 1, it could be up to 25 or 27, but all this are going to be factors if we do not get any sort of safety cars, and there is some sort of pit stop strategy involved in this race if that is the case. So let's find out.
Do it.
Let's see who's starting on what tires in this race.
See, I heard something different there. I heard you say wet tires, and I was like, no, Ryan, they won't be on wet tires. Right. Let's sort this out. Here we go.
Yep, so let's go through our lineup of tires quickly. The only drivers starting on the mediums include Lojovic, Riles, Will Cromack, Bert Gorgon, and Rowdy TJ Boyd down in 20th. 19 of the 20 full-time drivers here, so Hissy, the only reserve here, trying to prove his worth in the Alpine. So, everyone else is on hards besides them. And in fact, Thrasher, by the way, he said he ran out of fuel on that lap that he was going to do. So that's exactly where he lost out on maybe starting better. Let's go through some favorites. Lojovic P3 is going to be one of my favorites. I think you have to include Lojovic as a favorite considering that he's qualified better than he did in Britain.
Yep.
He gained a lot of places in that race. He's in a Red Bull at a track where Red Bull took a double podium last season, took pole position last season. Lojovic, right now, still showing that he's the number one driver over Thrasher, but showing that as a team, they can work together in this race, and that the fact that Lojovic could be on for his first podium today. 8, 9 starts, something like that previously. We'll take a look later on. Also, one of my favorites is going to include Jeb William SU. I would have picked Will Cromack, but Jeb is on the hards and Will's on the mediums. So Jeb being on the hards, he's the lead runner of these hard drivers. And the big thing for him is taking the amount of points available in the constructors for Williams. That is exactly what Jeb needs to be doing. This race last season, he had no practice whatsoever and still ran quite great. So Jeb this time around has to have a good run today in order to get himself back in the championship hunt. 2 favorites quickly.
My 2 favorites would be Goggy. I think he's going to do quite well in this race. He's really got to step it up. Get really high up there on the first few laps. And also, I'm also thinking Hissy as well. I've not seen what he can do, so I want to see what his potential is when he's doing the race. Oh, Sam's been disqualified already.
All right. That's only a formation lap, luckily, so there
Oh,
you go.
well, yeah. Oh, hello.
Let's see. Let's get these 5 lights underway. Let's get this race underway. Here we go. Waiting for the drivers to rev it up for these 5 red lights.
Lights out.
And away we go. Will Cromack gets off decently. He's going to have to cover off Lojovic, who's got an amazing start. They're 3 wide and maybe 4 wide right here in the middle of the pack. But Jeb is thinking of a move before turn 1. Not going to do it. Lojovic getting challenged by Pluto. Side by side between them. Lojovic going to have to back out, and he does. But turn 1 so far, clean. Oh, there's damage, but so far no one's around, luckily. Aaron Ocon down the order, though. Lando battling with Joseph, and Joseph ahead of that, trying to go 3 wide already. Riles and Lojovic battling side by side. Joseph down the inside, side by side with Lojovic. Joseph gets out of Lojovic. Now he's down the order off of lap 1. 3 places lost, so not a crucial start at all, by all means. Oh, there was a little slide from somebody. That was Matty Mumu in front of Blugagi, his brother. And now Thrasher jumping down the order. While Brute Gorgon tries to take advantage of GSR Thrasher, who's side by side with them. That's for 10th place. Sam also down the order, 16th as well. That's big. Side by side with Polo.
That was who I was going to mention. That's who I was going to mention. Sam Steed's coming really far down the order from 10th. What was it? 10th? No, 9th.
Yep,
to
he's got
18th.
damage. Sam Steed's got damage. He's pushed CJ off. He's pushed CJ off, and down the order goes Blue Goggy and Brute Gorgon, who's both around. Brute's around again. So, disaster to Blue Goggy's race. He's going to have to come from the back of the grid and do a comeback drive at least. Does he have damage?
Well,
No. Okay, so he's okay.
no.
At least from the looks of things.
tired.
Sam Steed as well. Both alphas in trouble. And pitting is Chungus. Chungus got involved in something on lap 1 then.
It looks like it. Like, I think there was damage between him and Sam. Oh! Blue Doggy was off the track there. Really onto the grass. Battling with CJ.
Yeah, Brute stays out. Brute did not have any damage. It looks like he was able to keep it off the wall. So Sam Steed, Chungus gonna have to come from the back. These are something these two are used to. Ryle's also going to be within DRS by lap 3 if he keeps this up. He's got a train forming with Pluto on back. And with this train forming, in fact, you go all the way back to really 9th, 10th place. That's how big this train is. Let me talk about the positions gained now on this opening lap. A place for Pluto, that's crucial surely for this Constructors. 2 for Riles, 2 for 2 for Joseph, 3 down for Lojovic, 1 for Lando. A yellow flag. That is Brute. Yeah. Okay, so that's the back of the grid. So Matty Momo 2, Thrasher lost 4, up 6 for Surfy and Joe, and up 3 for Hissy and 5 for Aaron and Rowdy. So there you go. There's your opening lap with positions gained.
It's been a good few laps for the start, hasn't it, Ryan? There's been a bit of action. Not much change at the front, but quite a bit at the back.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and this really just determines the way the rest of the race is going to go. I see Joe and Polo side by side there for what looks to be 12th place. Polo got getting ahead. You can see the sun is starting to peek out as we've got more yellow flags for Brute Gorgon.
He's got him.
Yeah,
oh, 5 seconds already.
That may be it for his race. There you go. Yeah, something's happened with Brute. He's given up or... Oh, Thrasher slides. Sorry, this is right in front of Surfy. I saw that. Very big. Lando's not going to take advantage of Lojovic, but he's actually going to wait. Yeah, I didn't want to make a move too early and crash both them into the second Lesmo. Lando's thing, I guess, is the unpredictability of how everyone else races, and I can see it. Ryle's there, hanging in behind Pluto. Cut Ascari just a little bit. May have picked up a warning, but now trying to hunt down Pluto for 3rd place again to maybe take a 2nd podium in a row. Ryle's turnaround, question mark? Is this what we're seeing? Yeah, both Alpines, I think, gained positions in the opening lap. Yeah, Ryle's gained 2. Whereas Hissy's gained like 2 or 3, so there you go. Now, Ryles with DRS on Pluto. Which way is he gonna go? Left side, this looks like. Around the outside for Ryles. Into the braking zone. Heavy brake in between the two. Which one brakes later? Almost contact. Ryle's going to be ahead for a moment. Pluto getting the exit speed, though. Going to be side by side off the exit of the corner. Overtake use from Ryles now, who's got a lot less than Pluto. Now, Pluto will stay ahead, unless Ryles makes a move into turn 4.
From the back.
Sorry, that's Ryles. That's Ryles. Yeah, cannot make a move. Cannot make a move. Chungus, fastest lap. There you go. 1.8 as well as you spoke about, Jeb. I think that's what you're referring to, unless I was wrong.
No, I don't think so. Wolf Cromack has picked up a 2-second lead from the first lap, which is very good going. He's keeping it very...
Surfy, Matty Memo, position. There you go. Position trade.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, well,
Now, I must say, if this isn't impressive, I don't know what it is. 8 positions from that back qualifying from Surfy. And that's where that 2nd pack's forming with Matty and Thrasher and Surfy, I think, on back. You got that front pack with 3rd to 7th. Pluto on back to Lando. This all is going to play a factor in this race. This all does, especially if there's no safety car. And especially if these guys continue to battle. Riles now in the back of Pluto. Is he going to the outside once again? Nope, not gonna. Oh, he's just late on the brakes, though, having to avoid Pluto. Joseph following suit as well, who had a really good race here in this race last season.
This seems to be one big train currently.
Here we go.
From,
Joseph lurking out to the left side. Couldn't do it that time.
There's something going on between. Oh yeah, you were talking about Miles and Joseph. Chungus
Chungus
with another
another-
one.
Yeah.
123.
So he's just going to have to come from the back of the grid. One step behind. This race goes by quickly, especially without any safety cars. This last season was 41 minutes long in the top 5, top 6-ish. Most shortest races in URS, and I was with 2 or 3 safety cars. So this race goes by quickly, and you have to make those moves quickly. You can see quickly, Will is able to extend that gap over Jab, and that is exactly why it is crucial, because these pit stops are coming soon. Also, Lodgevic was thinking of side-by-side action with Joseph, couldn't make anything of it. You just see how close everyone is. Everyone's just so close in these packs. A slide, DRS, overtake, you know, any of those factors make a difference in this race. And you could just see everybody now ganging up on Pluto. Now, maybe ganging up on Riles if Riles doesn't have enough pace for Pluto by turn 1. If Riles makes a move here, this could elect maybe Joseph to make one, but he thinks better of it. Oh, Lando has to avoid that. Does he go wide? No, he doesn't go in the runoff, though. That's exactly what being the last car in that pack does. Being the last car in that pack just puts you farther back, and you have to brake even earlier. And if you just miss it, you have to go wide exactly like Lando did.
Yeah, Lando keeping it very, very safe though.
Oh, yellow flags. Is that the leader? That is the leader once again. That's the second week in a row that's happened. The leader, Will Cromack, spun around. And he's now out of the points. Re-enters right in front of Hissy. Whoa. He just ghosted right there in front of Hissy. I don't think he tried re-entering in front of me. He was spun right in the middle of the circuit, but good avoiding action. Good heads-up call by Hissy just to not hit him. And Thrasher's now got a penalty there, as he cut Ascari on board with him when that happened.
Won't be able to. Won't get that one taken off, mate.
No, no way.
Got very close to Matty's rear end out. Is it possible that he's going for a move?
Well, Rouse is
looks
closer
like
to Pluto. I think Rouse is closer to Pluto. This is third place. This is, second now with Will spin. Around the outside, Rouse is going to go. Late in the brakes. Having to go wide. Oh, you're right behind that. There was Polo, Thrasher, Matty. There's contact between Thrasher and Polo. Polo gets shoved. Now Thrasher is side by side with Polo and Matty looking for a move around the far outside. Thrasher cuts that off contact. And Polo got get through without any issue. Oh, Thrasher in the grass.
I can see it.
Oh, Polo's around. Polo gets tagged.
Safe car. Definitely a safe car.
Both have damage, and that's the championship leader in more trouble. And Thrasher with no front wing. A good weekend for Thrasher. It's just turned into the complete opposite come the race. And now look at this front pack. With Pluto on back, they've formed and they've caught Jab to where Pluto might have DRS this time. Yeah, really unfortunate by Polo and Thrasher to collide there. That was right in front of Matty, and that's definitely hindered their chances at catching the front pack. They were like 2 seconds behind. Now with Will and everybody else, they're nowhere to be found when it comes to being near Surfy. And you can see Joe struggling to get by Aaron Ocon now for a points position. All Aaron Ocon said he wants is just points today, so we'll watch out for that. Rowdy also behind that, who's also had a run of no points whatsoever. No Q3s either. Will also gets the move done on Matty before turn 1.
Close behind Joseph going into turn 3. No, turn 4, sorry. Turn 4, turn 5.
He's accepting blame for the incident with Polo. He's seeing that one from his point of view. That's big, as that's a championship contender. Oh, a move almost being made from Joseph with Riles. Had the second Lesmo right there. And now I think Pluto's lost DRS to Jab, so this is important for Jab to hold on to that gap. Even with the straight line speed, look at how much Pluto was able to gain back there. At least 2/10 right there. Now to Ascari, he's just gaining more back. Jab struggling. Jab slid there out of Ascari. And now Pluto's gained it back by 5/10, 6/10. The gap is shrinking.
Down to 3/10 going into Parabolica. Back up to 4. Let's see what the exit is like for Jab.
The more this pack forms, the more hungry everybody is to pass one another. You can see 7 cars in this train at the front of the field now. Here's Pluto on the back of Jab now. Is he close enough by turn 1? Absolutely not. However, how's the other cars behind that going to break in time? Surfy locking up. He had to avoid hitting him by locking up. Hissy side by side with Maddie for 9th place. Nice wheel-to-wheel action between these two. Hissy is a reserve getting through. Hissy's last points finish, his last start at Portugal. Round number 12 of Season 1. Pluto's closer now. Oh, and Riles had to go wide. Oh, they had to avoid him there too. A little bit of a stack up.
Big train behind Pluto now.
If Will's tires are not cooked from that spin, he has every chance of gaining on these guys. Look at the stack up from Lodgevic's onboard. They're just trying to avoid Pluto every corner by having a break earlier. That is exactly what that Constantiner effect does at Monza. In order to avoid that, you just have to avoid running into the guy in front of you by braking earlier. And some fail to do that, and we might see a collision from this soon enough. Joseph's close to the back of Riles now. Riles close to the back of Pluto, and Pluto gained enough back on Jab to have DRS by the time we enter turn 1. John Dawson says in Twitch chat that he's not seen a full grid in a long while. Good to have you here. Look at this, 3rd place. This
Joseph.
is all kicking off. He gets by without even DRS right there. That is exactly what that did. A little mistake from Riles. Oh, thinking about it. Thinking about it. Oh, he's going to have Lodgevic side by side now on the inside curb who slides, and now Lando's there. He's got to give room to Lando. Oh, they touch. Here's Surfy now. That's exactly what that does. That concertina effect. Lodgevic loose in the rear. Oh, my goodness. He saves it.
Goodness me.
Now side by side with Lando.
Lando did
Lando
very
is
well
through.
there, picking up 2 positions going into turn 5.
Smart by Lando. Smart by Lando to just wait for it and go. Avoid the action if he crashes into you, and then get the spot later on. Even losing time, it's okay, because they didn't lose too much time. They're still in DRS. And so is Riles. Lando could be on for one of his best races in a long while as Thrasher takes the fastest lap. Lando's not had a podium since round number 2, and that race reigned in all 3 qualifying sessions as well.
Good. You're right. Maybe we might see Lando prevail. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see.
I think I could name you a lot of streaks with these guys when it comes to, you know, most races without a podium, most races without whatever. I mean, there's a lot of these guys looking for a lot of things in this top 7, this front pack. Lodgevic, in 8 starts, no podium. 30 starts for Goggy, even though he's not in front of this front pack without a podium. That's the most. That's what the comparison's like. Pluto now for the race lead on the outside, trying to go by Jab. These two collided last week. No room given between one another, but Pluto gets ahead.
I didn't see that between Pluto and Jab. I saw it on the timing screen, but I was like, too
Both
close.
on similar ERS, so this could be good when it comes to the pit stops, which should be emerging soon with the medium runners.
Yeah, definitely. It's getting to about half distance now, isn't it?
And that's when the pit stops will be, especially mainly for the medium runners first, then the hard runners. That's the way it usually will go, unless you're looking to extend. You got Lodgevic, you got Will, who's 8th, and then Riles, who's 4th. So interested to see how this all pans out. And speaking of more statistics in this, you know, top 7, Surfy as well, 8 starts, no podium. Lando hasn't had a podium in 38 races, 385 days. That's exactly what I mean by hungry for a podium. Could have a good race from Lando if he keeps this up. Oh, he slides. Keeps within this train though, luckily, yeah.
Someone went wide.
That was
what
Lando.
was it? Surfy though?
That was Lando.
That went wide?
Yeah.
Looked like to me it was Lodgevic, but I might be wrong.
Could have been, but it looked like the McLaren. Here we go. Anyone pitting? Doesn't look like
no
it.
one pit yet.
Will is also a big factor in this race too because he's also trying to gain
Will pits.
on the top 7. There you go. That's why. Joseph are on the outside of Jab now. This fight's getting intense.
Oh.
Riles breaks late, almost runs in the back of Joseph, but Joseph, no move on jab being made now. Yeah, exactly what I mean with Will. That's big because he was gaining on these guys, all stacking up. Here's Surfy on Lojovic now for 6. I think the big thing in this front pack with the top 7 is Riles and Lojovic, when they pit, they'll be on the slower tires. So Surfy getting by right now is exactly what he needs, and he's trying it. Here goes the overtake, down the inside, gets the move done.
Aaron Ockel and CJ also happening. Someone spun.
That's Aaron.
Well,
Aaron
something
spun off
happened.
of
Aaron
CJ.
spun.
Lojovic now fighting Surfy back. 6th place, side by side. On the run to Ascari. Don't collide!
Oh, they
Whoa,
touch.
this gets close. Lojovic off the road. And keeps it going. And within DRS still. As Joe Hansel picks up another penalty, or another driver to pick up a penalty. That's Joe Hansel. Sorry. Excuse me there. That's not his second. It would be Maddie's second, because Maddie has 6. So, there you go. Here we go. Pit stops. Anybody. Riles coming in. Lojovic, does he come in? Yes. It's both medium runners in on lap 12. Lojovic very slow on the entrance to the pit lane there.
No one else coming in. Aaron doing a bit of a quick.
Yeah, Aaron might have had damage, but if he does, he stays out. CJ Rowdy now 9th place here. Rowdy also in the mediums. He should be pitting soon. Rowdy gets ahead, breaks latest. This is big. Chungus, by the way, on those 11-lap mediums is ahead of Will, and Will was the first car behind that 7-car train, and where Chungus came out is actually behind Lojovic, and Lojovic behind Polo now. So this is interesting. Riles is now being fought by Polo God, who was fighting Pluto, the other Haas car, laps ago. Polo got staying behind.
I'm feeling that race. I need to do an internet test. It's quite glitchy for me.
Who is? You?
Yeah, for me.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see. Well, Aaron Ocon.
Aaron, 3 seconds.
There you go. There's the first penalty from him? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, anyone in the
He's on
top
Polo.
5? Is anyone in the top 5 coming in? No. But ducking out in this slipstream gang is Jab, who doesn't have DRS on Pluto, meaning Joseph gets by, who is looking for a 2nd podium to the season and a best finish to the season. He's had a struggling start to the season besides that 1 podium.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah, 1 podium in Saudi.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes.
Polo going wide. He lets Lojovic, Will, Chungus all go. They're in this train now. Here comes Will on Lojovic. So Will gain time from this undercut. However, he's on the hards while others will be on the mediums, the faster tire when the top 5 pit. So all things to note in this train. Aaron Ocon, Rowdy, side by side. This is 10th place. Nothing made of it.
No, nothing made, though. It was close. It was very close.
Big thing to mention, this is exactly what last season was like, except for how many cars were in the top 5. However, big thing to mention, there was a safety car at this point last season. Something to be aware of if it happens.
Could you have possibly jinxed this again?
I hope there's no safety car. I really don't want there to be, because this is going to be a good fight for the top 5. And take Lojovic around Riles right now, too. All big things, and they could have the undercut if things stand.
Yeah.
However, with that undercut comes the fact that they're going to be on tires that are slower. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Joe Hansel, head of Matty. Are any of them pitting? Matty is.
Matty is.
So he's the first of the hard runners, at least in that top 10 area, to pit. So this is where this could trigger something on lap 15 of this race, anywhere inside that top 5. And Chungus, who's won already this season, Polo, who's won already, Jab, who's won already, we could see a different winner at this moment with this race. So just things to point out on lap 15. And Joseph's got closer to the back of Pluto.
1/10 between that arc from like 2, 3.
Oh, side by side. Sorry, Riles and Lojovic. And Will's behind this. Will trying to get a move on. Lojovic right behind Riles. Are we going to see some wheel-to-wheel action once again between these two? Not just yet. And Polo, Sam, all pitting, as well as Maddie, just a moment ago. And yep, no moves being made right here. Everyone's staying in line.
It's all sort of settling down now, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Other
really
than a few
is.
pit stops here and there.
It really is. I'm interested to see as well, even with these pit stops and everything that's happened. Williams and Haas, they have 2 cars in the points right now, but are they gonna, or Alfa Romeo, the other team has split points this season so far, gonna get points. Here we go, pit stops. Joseph speeds. Oh, that is big for this race.
That's
Now that
big.
puts Lando in prime position for this podium. Huge mistake by Joseph. The other AlphaTauri's up there is Surfy, so we'll see how he adapts to pitting soon here. Joseph on the mediums.
CJ, Rowdy, and Aaron all come in.
There you go. Big factors in this race right now. This will play a big difference into how this race plays out now that Joseph's got that speeding penalty. Let's see where he comes out, in fact. He's coming out ahead of Riles by a large margin. And Lodgevic gets the move done. But does Riles brake later to get it ahead? Oh, side by side still. Oh, they make contact for just a moment. Will's around the outside of Lodgevic now. He gets boxed in, and Will is going to now take advantage as Riles gets ahead. And now Will is the one boxed in as Lodgevic gets it back ahead. Chungus also right behind this as well. He's stayed out this entire race. Well, sorry, no, he's not actually stayed out this entire race. He pitted on lap 1, but he's been on mediums this entire time. And maybe in risk of a puncture soon. Right. And he can go mediums from here because he started on the hards. Yellow flags. Is this a crash out of the race? No, but it's Joe Hansel.
Joe Hansel.
So luckily, that's exactly where the safety car happened last season, but no safety car this time. Top 4 are all in. The top 4 are all in. At the same time, does Hissy stay out? No, he does not.
Joe Hansel and Joseph swap places, but that's nothing.
That is nothing, but this is big though for Joseph at least to get that spot now. The fact is with Joseph is he got that speeding penalty, but pitted the lap earlier.
That's a good point.
Bulgogi staying out. Where do these guys come out? Bulgogi gonna try to lead a lap here. Joseph's out ahead of all of them. However, he has that speeding penalty to spare, so just remember, if you look at the net podium sitter right now, that's Lando, who has not had a podium in 38 races. Lodgevic also behind this too, so he didn't fall back as much as we thought, but he's still barely out of DRS. And on the tires that are not faster with the hards. It's now separated this train, you can see it. What factor is this going to play into this race?
We'll have to see. We're looking at some really it's going to be some close racing when it comes to the final few laps, I think. Everyone's going to bunch up again, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can sort of see it.
Especially if a mistake happens. You know, Joe Hansel, he had the lead of this race last season and made a mistake, and then it boxed everybody up. That's exactly what it could do. And your leader, Bulgogi, right now, gonna pit this time. Is Joseph waiting for the DRS here? Yes, he does. So he's going to get DRS in this front straight and trying to still pull a 5-second gap. This could still happen from Joseph, even though there's a hungry pack of cars behind. Goggy pits. So waiting for that safety car is all he could have done. 2.8 that gap. Joseph is going to have to pull away as much as possible. Ex-teammates. Oh, they touch. Fight this one back to get a points finish. Same with Chungus and Polo, who are top 2 in the championship. If things stand the way they are, let's take Polo in. Oh, side by side. They touch. Riles is around. Oh, there you go. Now that puts Hissy up a place, and he's back in a points-paying position. Yeah, I was just gonna say, even though Joseph's 3 seconds out front, let's take into remembrance that he still has that 5 seconds of penalties for speeding. And something I wanted to look at with Jeb and Pluto is Pluto has that 1 podium this season, Jeb has 2, but in order to get themselves back in the championship, this is the type of race they needed. And Pluto 1 podium to his name, Jeb One podium to, or sorry, 2 podiums to his name, 1 win. Lando, none this season. And Surfy, none ever. So let's see how these two fight it out to go for 3rd place. 2 very interesting streaks trying to be broken. Surfy his own for not having a podium yet. Lando as well, with the amount of races between podiums. No one's ever had that big of a gap.
Sorry, CJ. No, bring it to turn 1. CJ pulls it back.
Right about that. Thrasher and Joe are also close for 15th. Seems like if you struggle in this race or you get involved in a crash and you don't get damaged, you're okay. Be a racing incident. However, others who've got involved in bulgogi like Sam and more. Here, move complete. Side by side. CJ's gonna break late as he go wide in the process. Oh, a little ghost and a little tap. And now Aaron Ocon gets to take advantage. And this is big for Aaron because Aaron, by the way, he has a penalty and still has to pull with that penalty in order to get some points. CJ and Riles now. Yep, Riles gets ahead. Yeah, Aaron with that penalty. The thing for him is with Maddie, he's got 6 seconds, although Maddie's 6 seconds in front, and Aaron's got that 3 seconds. So if Aaron gets ahead of any of these guys, he's going to have to pull the gap, kind of like Joseph's trying to do. And that gap from Joseph's being pulled pretty good right now because that gap to Lando's now 4.5.
CJ coming up behind Riles again, going into under the bridge. He's very close. In fact, he's passed. It looks like it. Yep.
Oh, still side by side though. There's the penalty.
Riles 3 seconds.
Oh, he loses it. Oh, he saves it. He's kept it straight, so he's going still. But he's going to fall in right behind Rowdy. Oh, front four. Front 4 right here.
Yeah, 4.
Not front 4 on, not front 4 on track, but, oh, he's got a 5-second penalty there. Front 4, when it comes to penalties and positions, here's Surfy now. Surfy's close, and he's going to go around the outside now. Riles is out of this race. And that's in the pit lane. However, Surfy's still side by side. Gonna break late. And is he gonna go ahead? Or does he miss the corner? No, he's ahead. He got that in time and he timed it just perfect.
Brilliant attack from Surfy there going to third part. Really good.
Now this has put Lando outside of the 5 seconds that he needs to be ahead of Joseph. All big in this race. All big. Riles out of this race. Pit lane.
Slow.
Yeah, that's Riles' car coming out of the pit lane now as he's retired, yeah. Quiet day from Hissy as well, his teammate, Riles' teammate. His last points finish was Portugal. He'd have the most starts, I guess, between points finishes. Excuse me. Speaking of podium, Surfy's still trying to get this podium regardless of being within 5 seconds or not. The thing for Surfy is, the more places he gets, the more chance of a win, because Pluto's 3.6 behind. He's still within that 5 seconds. Surfy's still running personal bests.
Getting close. Looks like he might jump to do a dive boat, or no, he's gonna keep it safe for now.
After last week, he's just getting hungrier and hungrier for that first podium. As the laps wind down, he's just getting hungrier. Like I said, for that podium, he's just so close to Jab. He wants more places on that podium, too, in case there's a penalty. Or whatever the case is. Because you just don't know what could happen. What if Joseph appeals that 5 seconds? What if he was going the correct limit? He looked like he was going a little fast, but just still. All of these things have to be considered.
Whoa! Did someone I swear I just saw someone go off the racetrack.
So if we might have track extended, but I don't know. Thrasher, fastest lap. With a couple laps to go. And Pluto still leads his train. Jab now struggling on exit. Surfy might have this advantage heading into Parabolica, but as you know, Surfy's just not going to go for it first. He's going to wait on the front straight if he has enough straight line speed. Because honestly, it could be 2-1 right here for Surfy, if Jab times it right. However, he lost time at Parabolica there, so that's going to change it. Surfy's now close to Jab's rear wing. He's going to pull alongside. Pluto's getting Jab that slipstream now. Now he's getting Surfy the slipstream. Which way are they going to go? Is Jab going to go for it? Oh, braking late.
No, he's not.
But not going to go for it. Yeah, I saw the hesitation there for a moment. Yellow flags.
Three.
Oh, Polo got it.
Stand
Sam are out of this race. Is this a safety car? It is. This is a late race safety car. Unbelievable. They crashed at Ascari, and your championship leader is out. They're both at separate ends of the racetrack, too.
Wow, like very light safety car.
Yeah. They have to pit this time if they wanna go for softs. Yeah. Excuse me, I was just losing it a bit. And now this definitely changes things with Joseph's 5-second. Yeah. And Chungus 13th with no penalties. This could also make him get all points position. Alfa Romeo still aren't out of points with Gagi going on softs. A lot of things considered with what's going to be 4 laps to go. Late race safety car now. And it'll be the only one. What would happen with Paulo and Sam? It's Paulo's second DNF this season as well. And that consecutive win streak is now done. Your race leader's in, though.
They're all coming in. All of that. Oh, no! Two set out.
Oh! Oh! Wow! Wow! Okay! All right. Does Hissy do the same? Nope. And oh, wait, no, he does stay out. Wow. This is big. Oh, my goodness. We might have an underdog winner here. We might have a reserve winner by chance. However, how much does the soft tires do at the 2-lap restart?
Good point.
Wow.
We've got to really heat these tires up on these laps now.
Wow. Well, Chromax's been put on 11-lap mediums. He's been put on his initial stint. Same with, is that Aaron who's been put on them? No, he's just serving the 5-second. Apologies right there.
75 seconds.
Yeah. So Will's on his old tires, so this is not good for him. This top three.
That might put Will out.
Yeah, this top 3 is big. The fact that Jab did something different than Pluto to realize that he could gain 25 points on your 2 championship protagonists is a big factor in deciding this race. My goodness.
Brilliant stuff. It shows that anything can happen in one of
Reserve and
short
P3
races.
as well. Yeah, how much faster are those mediums going to be? We'll find out in a lap here. How much, well, I shouldn't say how much faster, because you know how much faster the soft tires are going to be, but I should say how much does track position really matter here? How much faster are those soft tires going to be? That's the big question. I'm going to quickly bear back while you answer that question and talk about our top 3.
Okie dokie. Right. Jab currently in P1. Mando and Hissy running off the top 3. All on medium tires if you haven't caught up. What is going on? Yes, so most people come to the pits. Most people have gone on to soft tires, which is brilliant. It's gonna be an amazing restart. See what everyone can do. A bunched up field, all going into turn 1. Anything can happen. Will Cromack has gone on to soft tires again, so that puts him down near the back of the grid. It's only Jab, Lando, and Hissy on this medium tires, so we'll see what happens. They could pull away, but then Pluto, Joseph, Logic, they can all come back.
Will pitted to get off those mediums, by the way. Yes, I am. Yes, Will pitted to get off those mediums, so The question for Thrasher now, who's behind him, is he going to catch him by the time the safety car comes in? Because it has to come in this time. It will not do a one-lap shootout. So we got 2 laps to decide this race with Lando and Jab. Lando looking for a first race win right now. This is incredible. Hissy as a reserve and only his 4th start. He hasn't made a start since last game. Season 1, round 12, Portugal. And he's beat his teammate every time, and that streak will continue.
I have a feeling the safety car's in. Safety
There you
car's
go.
Coming in this
Jab,
lap.
who's our leader, by the way. Big for him, trying to win his 2nd race of the season. Some drivers have said that Jab has struggled to start the season, and he's not had the start that people thought he would. He was a big favorite to win this championship. Now it's time to turn things around and see if he's the one who's able to prevail late in Monza. Safety car coming in.
2 laps to go of this Italian Grand Prix coming into Parabolica.
Here we go. When does Jab go? Jab right now.
Exactly.
Yes, that is the big question. He's now looking for his 4th race win. Would tie him 2nd all time with this race win if he were to get it. When does he go? No, he thinks about it. He's not on the gas just yet. He's waiting for the slipstream to not be engaged. Here we go. He goes side by side between Hissy and Pluto. Pluto took advantage right there to be side by side with Hissy just in time. The overtake's being used before turn 1. Here we go. The lead, by the way, 2. Lando around the outside. Lando's gonna do it. Can Lando go around the outside and be side by side with Jab? Pluto now has advantage on the soft tire. He gets 2nd place, while Hissy drops down the order and side by side for 4th. There you go, down to 5th. Now Lodjevic also on the soft tire. Surfy as well. All positions trying to be gained. It's Jab and Pluto, the front 2, who collided last week. Now he's just got to hold the lead. No DRS going to be enabled at all. So it's now down to the straight line speed and the wings.
I think the medium tire was the best tire choice to finish this race.
Maybe if the top 2 collide, Lando could be in huge position to take this race win. He's using that battery now in the back of Pluto. He's still looking for a first podium in 38 races since season 1 and round 2 at USA. Jab slides. Jab slides. Can Pluto take advantage? No. Maybe. Just not close enough. Yellow flags. That's Gaggi out. Alfa Romeo and their consecutive point streak. But here comes Pluto and Lando. There's more yellow flags and there's more penalties being handed out by corner cutting.
To the end of Parabolica onto the pit straight.
Here we go.
What
The leaders.
do going into turn 1?
Which way does he go? Jab is not predictable with which way he wanted him to go, but Pluto's around the outside. The 2 leaders who collided last week, will they do it again? Side by side. They make contact.
They do touch.
They do touch again. Lando's trying to look for a space to go through. Jab slides.
Whoa!
That's big. Now Lando's trying to hold on. Yes, exactly. Hissy's up to 4th. All kicking off in the remaining laps. Joseph down the inside. Did nothing about it. Lando trying to go through for a first race win. But is he too late now? Hissy and Surfy trying to catch Joseph for the podium place as well as Jab lost that. Jab had many points on offer and just lost them as Chungus could pick up a points position based on the penalties. Yellow flags. That's Thrasher.
That's Thrasher.
Lando's got to find time in Ascari. He found a little bit on Pluto. Is it enough, though? Lando's charging on Pluto with overtake engaged. Lando hasn't had a podium in 38 races. He's looking for a first win. Which way does he go? Does he go for it? No, he's going to wait for the line. Pluto finished 2nd in this race last season, hasn't won yet, and now wins it. When his 2 championship contenders finished bad, he does it. Lando back on the podium in 38 races, a streak that is broken. And now Joseph caps it off 3rd. A little battle of the line we missed. Jab, Lodjevic, Hissy, all 5th, 6th, 7th, and Chungus nabs CJ for 10th. He's got 2 points, and that's a championship tie right now.
Wowee! Everyone comes across. Flash is just being slow. Flash is just being slow.
Lando finally gets back on the podium.
Amazing stuff from Lando. Really, really good. Kept He kept so close to everyone at the top. Really, really good stuff.
Polo not too happy with the standard they're driving today, and you know what? The last 2 laps was stress. I agree with you right there in chat. Wow.
So who was it? It was Pluto. Was Lando.
Pluto, Lando, and
Okay.
Joseph is that podium. Lando back on the podium. McLaren, for the first time since Hungary, round number 8, are back on the podium.
Make sure to include audio, everyone.
Wow.
You can breathe now, Ryan.
I could. I was struggling there with words at the end. Because that
Really
was
were.
quite the last 2 laps. We've now got another streak that's been taken off as well. Chungus was going to go for 8 consecutive podiums today. It's only 7. Italy changed that for him. No Chungus on podium. No Polo on podium. What is that, the first time this season that's happened?
I think you're right, yeah.
Might be. No, Brazil. Brazil's the only time that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wow. No, sorry. It did happen in Brazil. Chungus was 3rd. He got Goggy late in the race. Apologies. So, yeah. That's crazy. That is crazy. Let's get Joseph in here.
Will Joseph join? I invited him.
He'll have to be interviewed first anyway, since he is 3rd, and he'll have to go for his league race after. Rowdy in the points again, from 20th in the grid, 16th in the grid from Surfy up there. Hissy as well as a reserve. Wow. All chaotic in the last couple of laps.
That's the eye.
All right,
Still
I guess
nothing from
Joseph is not getting interviewed, so he doesn't want to. But either way, how about you start with our 2nd place finisher, Morgan? Lando.
Second place. Who was second place? That was Lando. Lando. Well done for getting on the podium, my friend. You deserve it. How did that race go for you? How did you feel?
I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel. I ran 0-0 wings the whole race. I was sliding. I was dying everywhere. All I needed to do was get through the melee at turn 1, and I did it. And then I just kept my head down. I didn't fight the Alpha Tires because they're too fast. And I guess it all came down to the safety car, and I did the opposite and to what everyone else was doing because my tires weren't too worn. So I was like, it's only 2 laps, and there's nothing big to lose. And in the end of the day, I avoided a jab coming back onto the track, and we're on the podium. I never thought I'd see this again.
Well, you're back on. That's just some really, really good driving for you, Lando. Really, really good. I'm amazed for you. Well done.
Thank you.
Ryan?
Can we
Go
talk
to,
about can we talk about how long it's been, Lando? 385 days, 38 races. You're back on the podium. How did you do it? And I have to ask as well. You know, you gained on Pluto and Ascari there. You were maybe thinking of the win. Were you or were you not? Or were you just trying to salvage the podium?
Oh, God, there's a lot of things going through my head. First off, through Ascari on Pluto, yeah, I had a massive run. I was 2 tenths back on him going into the Parabolica, and I was like, do I send it and be stupid, or do I just keep and salvage the podium? I'm quite happy with the podium. I didn't want to take out Pluto. He's raced me clean all throughout the season, all the time, so it's only fair that you give back what they race you, and I wanted to race Pluto fairly, and that's what I did. He was on softs. I tried to give him a little bit of a fight. Didn't really work though, that ass in a straight line. line is abysmally fast. And yeah, a fucking year. Oh my god. Out of all the tracks, it's this one. It's the track where this car sucks at the most with straight line. I just, oh, I don't know. I don't know how to feel right now.
Well,
I'm
you
too
said
happy.
Good. Good.
I'm too happy to even, have a shot of this throughout the whole of this URS journey I've had of me constantly just getting bent over and me losing confidence. To then coming back to this season and saying, I'm gonna put the hammer down. I'm gonna use these setups to my advantage, run these low wing setups, see what I can do. And paying off. I'm quite bummed out about not being able to go to Spa, but it's redemption day for me in Monza. Oh my god.
Yeah, your teammate also finished in the points as well. I'll just ask you this one question as well. To cap it off, when you saw the 5-second penalty ended to Joseph, yeah, he was pulling the way. Yeah, you were battling with Surfy for that podium. Then the safety car. Did you think this was a possibility, and what went through your head when staying out?
Yeah, so I think he got the penalty lap 12 or 14-ish, somewhere around there. And I just went until pit stop cycled out. I really wanted to focus more on not doing what Joseph did and sped in the pit lane. The moment I saw Joseph had a gap, I was like, all right, what am I thinking here? Do I fight jab and go after Pluto? No. I knew that Surfy was fast in a straight line. I was like, I can use Surfy to tag me along. He can get by jab, and then I can use jab's pace with my pace, and I can just kind of cruise around there. And then Sam and Polo died, and I was like, well, there goes that strategy. So I did the opposite of what a couple cars did, because again, 2 laps, Monza, I knew it was going to be chaos. I didn't want to put myself, a little in the back. I wanted to keep the track position, and I say it paid off.
Fair enough. Congratulations on your second podium, and both times too. So you know what? Now it's that first win. You could say no more streak of not having a podium in a year.
Let's go.
All right, race winner Pluto. The all-time win leader does it again, winning in a 4th season. Your restart was mega. You absolutely timed that perfect. And you got alongside the reserve of Hissy and just timed it perfect to at least have the run by turn 1 to be 3rd and be in position only have to pass 2 cars instead of 3. You got Lando, then you got Jab. A little bit of contact with Jab. Fair hard racing though. Talk me through it.
I didn't even know there was contact with Jab. I thought I left him loads of room. Yeah, the restart. I was just watching Jab to see when he was going. I wasn't bothered about where Hissy was. All I knew was I had to get alongside him because it was always going to be 2x2. So I wasn't that worried about being outside of the train. And yeah, I just had ERS down the entire straight because I knew that the car has a straight line speed. So yeah, that's all I needed to do. And then I got gifted the 2nd place because Lando side by side with Jab there as well. So all I had to do was run it around the outside, and that was nice as well. I just had to settle down from there.
Yeah, and winning in 4 different seasons, the championship protagonist having trouble gaining points on Jab. I mean, what does this do to get yourself back in the championship fight? I mean, through the last couple of weeks, we've seen how hungry you've been for these points, positions, a podium, or even just winning the race. You've been very hungry to get back in this fight after your first 3 races at Aston and the start of the season.
I wouldn't really say I'm that, as you said, hungry. I'm just happy to be fighting with people at the front instead of fighting with people for 7th now. It's it's fun either way. It's good.
Win number 7. As much as you love to win, and a win is a win. You love winning, but what does this win do in comparison to the other wins that you've earned, especially with how you had to get through the field quickly at the end, and then having to hold on to it when you saw Lando have that run out of Ascari at the end?
It's just the same. It's just the game at the end of the day, isn't it? I wasn't that fussed about the championship to start this season, but somehow everyone ahead of me is trying to sink her. So I don't know. It might still be on, but if it's not, I don't care. It's fine.
Congratulations, Morgan. Any questions?
I have one. When the safety car So there. Let's try that again. When the safety car came out on lap 20, was it 23, 24? What went through your head at the time?
Um, well, usually when a late safety car comes out, I always make the wrong decision. So my initial thought was to stay out because I thought everybody else was going to. But then I heard everyone in the party was saying that they're going to pit. And I thought, you know what, I'll go against my decision this time because that's usually the better strategy. And I did, and it worked. So fair enough, fantastic.
There you go. Yeah. Right. Brilliant. I mean, well done on the podium. Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
Well,
And Lando, you can breathe now. Lando, you can
yeah.
breathe. Just take
I
a
must
breather.
say, Morgan, you know, this is exactly what I meant by the safety car last season. Just besides the fight for the win last season was great. This is exactly what I mean by something last season was missing, and I think we got what was missing last season. You know, the three who stayed out kind of fell back, except for one of them, but Hissy still scored points. Jab fell back a little farther than most did, so I'm impressed with how this went, and I'm ready for Canada now.
I'm really looking forward to Canada. Canada has always been one of my favourite tracks to drive and even just to spectate when I'm not driving. It brings so much action, you know, the Wall of Champions and the final back straight. We can get either you can get amazing pace or just no pace at all and be the slowest one on the track. It gives you so much action on such I would say a simple track.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to it. It's really good. It's going to be so good.
Me too. I think the thing is, you know, like I said about Italy last season, Canada season 2 is exactly what I mean by what was missing. You know, we had a 6-car train at the front of the field, and some who slotted in there with a pit stop still remaining, and then the safety car happened, and it was safety car after safety car after safety car, and it was not the best of races for URS. And I think that whole thing we saw in season 2 is what we'll probably get again, except for the second half of the race with safety car, safety car, safety car. That's exactly what is missing. You take that out of it, I would love to see how that race would have played out. And maybe we'll see how it plays out this time, considering there was a 7-car train at the front of the field in Italy. So, you know, I'm ready for it, and let's get it on. But Morgan, before we get it on, didn't we share a podium there once before? We'll share the commentary booth this time.
I think we did. That was a good time. I very much like that. I think you were first.
Ferrari.
No, it was Haas Ferrari, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Haas, Ferrari, Haas, something like that. It was something like that. But nonetheless, we get to share the commentary booth again. I'm happy about that. So let's get it on. Let's get it on for Canada. We shared a podium. Now we get to share the commentary booth there. Let's bring it on. Canada is next week. It is the last race of the February month, and it's the last race before anything F1-wise gets underway. I'm your commentator, Ryan Elcon31, and alongside is Morgan Cheeseman. Next week, 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. UK. Join us then. We'll see you next time.
See you later.